All right, it is an absolutely beautiful morning here in the marshes of Plaquemines Parish. I got one of my favorite fishing buddies with me, C-Mac. We're gonna target speckled trout in deep holes. My last trip to this area was incredibly productive. If this one is half that good, we're in for a good day. Let's see. Come join you back here, buddy. All right, I'm starting the morning throwing a limbo slice, matrix shad on a 3/8 ounce death grip jig head. What you throwing there, C-Mac?
I mean, not to be repetitive.
Same thing?
Yeah.
All right, there we go. If it works,
You taught me well.
might as well throw it. We've got a rising tide. The tide just switched. I checked the buoys before we got out here, and the tide had bottomed out, so it should be rising all day.
Todd, hopefully the rising tide lifts my boat and your boat.
Yes, all boats.
And all boats.
It tends to do that. Ooh, oh, I got drilled. I got a text, and I'm trying to check my watch, and I missed my fish. There's not a puff of breeze blowing today, which is rare for this spring. It's been a super windy spring, but it's not today.
It also means the marsh romance is coming out shortly.
Yes, marsh romance will make an appearance, although the gnats are not bad yet, but they're coming.
Why'd you say that?
There he is, C-Mac, there he is. Speckled trout. Speckled trout! C-Mac and I are keeping a few fish today. We both want a few. So if this guy gets in the boat, he's gonna go in the box. They're a good eater too. There we go. It's a nice fish. Look how fat this dude's been down there eating.
There he is.
C-Mac got him.
Getting slow on the pick there. Oh, he smoked it.
Get him, C-Mac. Get him, C-Mac. Oh, that's a good trout. Real pretty trout.
Oh, he was running right at the boat the entire time.
Dude, that's a good trout.
Yeah, he's a good fish. Good.
That's a real good trout. Holy Toledo. That's a real good trout,
I
man.
think this one might go back.
That's, you know, probably an 18-incher, huh? Maybe 19. It's a good fish. We'll let him go. Oh, wow, what a hit. What a hit. All right, another beautiful trout. Let's see, that's what you think, 16?
Yeah.
16 inches. I might tag this fish and let it go. You want one this big?
Nah, swam away.
Get him, C-Mac.
It's not the same ferociousness as the other ones, but still good. Keep us out of this. Too big.
Man, they're all so big. I don't know. I probably don't want it.
Fat, healthy fish, man.
So C-Mac and I, as I mentioned, are keeping fish, but we're catching them too big to keep.
That's probably 17 fish.
Good problem to have. To me, top end on speckled trout that I'll keep is about 15. 15 inches. Got him?
Came close to the bottom. I mean, just as it was sinking, mauled it. I didn't even have the reel engaged.
Right.
Nope. Another giant.
That's probably a boxer.
Yeah.
That's probably a boxer.
Eater.
That's about 15. Look at the belly on that fish. Look how fat.
So, I mean, you see all the bait out here.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Tons of bait.
Pogies everywhere.
That's why these fish are here. Oh, there he came back. He came back.
Of the resident 8-foot alligator here.
This fish is fighting weird. I wonder if I foul hooked him.
Sure it's a trout?
I'm not sure it's a trout, but he did come up. I bet he's a foul hook trout, if I had to guess. That's what my money's on. Yep, foul hook trout.
Keeper. Boxer. Eater.
Yeah, that's a good keeper. Yeah, from what I hear, the gator prices have collapsed.
Oh yeah. Nobody's killing them.
Nobody's killing them. They got to do something, man. Should open a recreational season.
They should.
I'm gonna pull out the bag of tricks. Do something I seldom do.
Change things up. Oh, what you got there? The double?
A little double rig.
Dang. Right behind the boat. That sucker's right there.
Oh, there we go. The double rig did it. The double rig did it. He tattooed it. He hit it angry. Look at that, man. Another hammer. It's the only thing with these double rigs, man. Then you got this. In fact, Larry hooked me the other day in the arm. Yeah, with one of these baits slinging around. On the shrimp creole, on a 3/8 ounce death grip, I'm gonna let this fish go. He's too big. It's just too big. See, Mac, we gotta catch some smaller ones. All right, swim off. See you next time. So on this double rig, I've got, as I mentioned, a 3/8 ounce death grip with a shrimp creole. Above that, I got a 1/4 ounce death grip with a limbo slice. I got 15-pound soft steel mono. Oh, there we go. On the double rig. Goodness, might be 2. That might be a double there, C-Mac. Not coming up at all. I don't know what this is. Might be a file hook trout. Yep, double.
Double. Ooh, and look at the back one.
Look at that.
Look at that, dude. That's awesome.
Back with the tank. There you go. Following C-Mac's rods. This is a good eater. This is about a 14-incher.
Yeah. Oh.
This big fatty. Look how fat that fish is. Goodness. We're gonna let him go. All right. All right, this deep water bite should, oh goodness, he hit me on the way in. There's a million fish down there. It's just silly.
That's another pig.
Just silly. Oh goodness. Another one too big. Look how dark these fish are. That tells you that water down below is even, I mean, the water up top is not dirty, but water down below is definitely prettier. Beautiful fish. Here.
Look at you, man. It's like going with a guy.
You don't want him, do you?
No, you put him.
He might be keepable. Let's keep him. We might not even catch any smaller ones in this. I do need a few fish. All right, as I was saying, this deep water bite has at least a couple of weeks left. No doubt about it. It usually lasts until about the first week of June, sometimes mid-June, depending on the area. This area we're fishing here, this bend right here is about 12, 14 feet deep, kind of flattens out a little bit through here. These fish have set up down current of the true bend. Usually I like fishing directly in the bend.
Not today, though.
Not today. They're a little bit down current of the bend. That might be a keeper. Yeah, he's only 15. On the shrimp creole. Of course, you never know if it's the color or the fact that it's on the bottom. And this deep water bite happens exclusively in areas that have freshwater influence. It does not happen in high salinity areas in the spring. And the reason is the main driver is croaker fry. I don't know if you call it fry or not. Shoot, I missed one. The gator's coming in. He saw me set the hook.
Yeah, I don't think it's fry.
Yeah, they're bigger than fry. Juvenile croakers.
They are. They're all about the size of your pinky, right?
Yeah, I'd say about your pinky. But they sometimes you hook some bigger ones in here. But the fish spawn offshore in the winter. Yeah, the eggs and larvae move in and they set up on these deep water areas. I guess they think they have protection. Either that or the sweeping of the current pushes them against the walls of the ledges. Whatever it is, the trout move in and feast on them. And it's just really, truly the best bite of the year. Now, it hasn't happened all that well the last couple of years, but this year is definitely proven to be a good one. No doubt about it. This is almost like the old days. So get on out here and do it while you can. You're gonna have to move typically. This is a spot I've fished before in the past, and it's delivered for me. So that's why I started here today. But I typically spend a lot of time just exploring, going out, looking around, finding deep water, making casts. Most stops are non-productive, but a lot of stops are productive. And you might catch anywhere from 1 to 5 fish in a spot, and you can kind of move on and find a different one. But sometimes you find the mother lode and you sit there and just catch as many as you want. Just love it. Absolutely awesome. And I talked about it in my last video, well, 2 videos ago, the last time I did this. And you can tell by the fish we're catching today, the quality of the fish. You catch some really legitimate, you can't say trophies, but really, really good fish, particularly for the month of May inside. You catch fish upwards of 22 inches, which, in Louisiana, that's a really good fish. Today our average fish is probably about 16 inches. Like that's outstanding. I promise you, if we were bouncing around popping corks, we may catch just as many fish by the end of the day, but they're going to be a whole lot smaller. Probably get some throwbacks. That's particularly true later in the month when the brown shrimp are everywhere. But if you want fish of any size, this is the thing to do. You know, we're letting a lot of fish go, and you know, you do whatever you want, obviously, but you know, these bigger fish are not like good to eat. They're just not. 15 inches is about the biggest trout I'll keep. Anything bigger than that, it just doesn't taste all that great. So I don't want to kill a bunch of these big fish. They're too valuable to me alive. Oh, goodness. You're a single, you're not a double. But I'm happy to have a single. Not complaining. See, Mac, does it get any better than this?
No.
It does not get any better than this.
I mean, catching a 5-pounder on a topwater.
Well, okay, yeah.
You know, this is pretty spectacular fishing, man.
As far as like action?
Well, and you know, guys like you and me who love to bass fish, that thump makes a difference, man.
Yes.
That ability to feel that deep water bite and feel that fish thump the bait and get the hook in him, I mean, that's a definite thrill of it.
Wholeheartedly agree. That for me, that is the thrill. That's what makes this so much fun. That tap.
Yep.
And you set the hook and the rod bows. It's just awesome. You know, everybody likes watching a cork go down, but give me this any day over watching a cork go down.
Absolutely.
Particularly on such a beautiful morning. Air temps right now, probably what, low 70s? Low 70s, look how calm it is. Oh, shoot, I missed him, dead slick.
And the only reason I know this exists, I mean, it's the kind of fishing I would do during the wintertime in the places I grew up fishing.
Sure.
Cocodrie, Fouchon, that area. So it's amazing to me that the people who spent their whole lives fishing here, and you know, in parts of Plaquemines Parish here on the east side of the river, don't know that this bite is here. You know, they'll come to Point of La Hache in those areas and they'll go fish the bays, they'll go fish, you know, off the Oak River and they'll pop corks, and, you know, they figure that all comes to an end in April and they got to go run out into the Sound.
Yep.
And certainly they're fishing the Sound, but these fish are obviously here, and there's just so many people who grew up fishing this area who don't know that.
Right,
you know?
That's definitely true. And they're here almost every year. Like I said, the past couple years have not been the best, but this year is like the old days. How big would you say that gator is? 8?
8 or 9. Very good story here. Slightest little cat, man. Just the slightest little cat. Not a big fish.
That might be a take-homer. I tell you, it's a better fish than you thought it was, isn't it? Your friend the alligator's not happy. And look, he threw up some nasty, half-digested bait fish.
Keep or no?
I'd say let's keep him.
Well, I would say the one thing about this that's absolutely essential is a good medium to medium heavy action 6'8", 7-foot bait casting rod that's very sensitive. You got to know the subtle differences between a jig head hitting the bottom and that ever slight little peck that you get out of these fish. Sometimes they slam it so hard there's no doubt.
Sure.
A lot of times though, it's just a little subtle kind of tick, or the bait moves a different direction, and you got to know what that feels like.
Yeah, you know, I emphasize that a lot. A lot of people think I'm crazy, or that it's not as important as it is, and quality equipment just makes such a big difference. Yeah, if you're throwing a popping cork on a point, probably not that big of a deal. Throw whatever you want. But to do this, a lot of these bites are very subtle. Some days they're not subtle at all. Some days it doesn't matter what you throw. You're gonna catch them, but when it is subtle, it makes such a big difference. You know, I'm throwing this double rig right now. I'm kind of doing it just for kicks, just for entertainment value. But normally I throw a medium power Akuma tournament concept with an Akuma Hakai reel. Absolutely love that combo. Super, super light. Can fish it all day without getting fatigued. And it's just incredibly sensitive. That rod is just fantastic. I did used to throw a medium heavy and made a transition about 2 years ago to medium power for this. And the reason is because that medium heavy kind of gave the fish too much leverage on the fight. The quality of that tournament concept makes a medium function as far as sensitivity like that medium heavy. So I'm very happy I made that switch. It's definitely paid dividends for me. I'll show you that rod. This is my go-to for this right here. This is also a tournament concept, by the way, the spinning rod. Oh goodness, I got tapped just sitting there. Throwing the double rig, really kind of for 2 reasons. One is a shout out to my buddy Larry, longtime fishing buddy, who I featured a couple videos back. He throws nothing but double rigs, almost nothing but double rigs. He laughs because I throw nothing but single rigs. But also there are times without question where that double rig is more effective, and not just because it can catch 2 fish, but also in a situation like this, it almost functions as a drop shot. You've got that bait down, you know, this one's about 1 foot above it, just kind of riding like that. And if those fish are not directly on the bottom, sometimes I can just be more productive. And definitely at Seaman today, and this is certainly typical, that this school is kind of moving around. They're definitely moving around. Like we'll go 5, 6, 7 casts in a row right here where you hook a fish or at least get, you know, a bite or 2, and then you'll go 5, 6, 7 casts with maybe 1 or 2 bites. That's not, you know, real committal. So if you're in an area that, you know, you think is holding some fish, like this clearly is, pays to be patient, because we'll have another school move through, or same school will just migrate back in the area we're throwing to. If the alligator doesn't eat them all. We got a big gator behind us. He is definitely seeing our fish come up and splash. He's hoping we give him one, but I will not. Speckled trout mean a lot more to me than alligators.
I think he's might be trying to figure out
whether he can eat us.
How many meals he can make out of a 300-pound Italian fella.
Right.
He's getting a little familiar.
I'm gonna have to apply some marsh romance. Getting a little ganati. All right, if you haven't seen this stuff yet, it's called Marsh Romance. It will absolutely save your fishing trip on a day like today. You do have to shake it. Super important that you shake it. But it's getting super natty. Good thing about this stuff, it really smells good. Mo better.
Chase them all to me now.
Yep. I got some if you want some. Got plenty. I'll make a switch to this crab boil colored Pro's Choice soft stick bait. Everybody thinks it's a bass bait, and it is. It's a great bass bait, but I catch a ton of speckled trout on this. Just looks so good in the water. And generally you catch bigger fish on this, because it's obviously a longer, bigger bait, but this tail goes crazy in the water.
I know he felt something.
You did not?
He's just sitting on it. Look like a piece of good fish.
He didn't come up at all. Oh yeah, real good fish. Real good one. Oh, there's one. C-Mac and I had a little lull. It appears fish are back. This fish has not come up yet. Now he has. All right. They just go bananas. They just go bananas. Man, what a special morning. We caught some absolutely beautiful fish, just about as fast as you can get a bait in the water. It does not get any better. That's why I love the springtime in South Louisiana. As I mentioned, this bite's got a few more weeks inside, and most of these fish are gonna be outside spawning, but lots of fun to be had until then. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the Marshman Masson channel on YouTube. And if you wouldn't mind sharing the video with somebody you think would also enjoy it, it's always helpful. And until next time, if we don't see you in this beautiful marsh, we'll see you right here on Marshman Masson.